Guys, what is the crack? What a headline. Don't trust politicians or their money. Um, Taking it to the extreme. But throwing you a bit of crack. Today what I want to talk to you about is that wealthy people seem to understand that you don't save in things that are political, and most people don't. So they accumulate political money, and all through the duration of accumulating money that's tied to politics, you'll find that your wealth is constantly getting bled and stolen from you. Maybe stolen and bled is a harsh word for people who don't understand how this system works. So let's just say it's an inferior way to try and accumulate wealth, is to try and save in something that's political. But I'd done it for the first half of my life before I understood how money worked. So instinctively, no one teaches us this, no one tells us this, and generally we never learn the difference between why we shouldn't save in something that's political. Anyway, that's what I'm going to chat to you about today. I'm just walking up to the gym. Internet's not been great, so hopefully we're okay here. Haven't been able to do my driving video since I got back because the signal keeps cutting out, but I digress. Here we are, walking up to the gym. I've got 2.5 hours, and then I'm back to meet a client to help them with designing an alternative Plan B pension. So this video came about because I was talking to a client, very successful man, considerably large net worth, and we were chatting about old money, okay, when we went from shillings to pence, before my time, but there was a huge devaluation occurred there. And then of course when we went from the punt to the euro, it was the same thing. Sometimes people will comment on my Facebook posts or YouTubes, and they'll say, oh well, we're not going to go to the digital euro, Dinny. People will just reject it. How many people rejected the punt? And are they still hoarding their punts? And are they still using their punts? No, unfortunately, literally overnight, the punt was made obsolete. I remember I was working that day. It was a New Year's Day, I think. I can't remember now. It might have been New Year's Day, but I remember coming into work. I was working in a pub. I came in hungover, trying to get through the day, and next minute I had to deal with like these currency transfers, and I had this little calculator, and you had to take in punts and give them back these euro things. But it literally happened in a day, and it was very surprising. So you got to understand that politicians will do what politicians are going to do, regardless of what you think, say or want. That's just how it works and how it's always worked. So you have to protect yourself from them. Now the thing about a politician is, so in my Retire Early Club, shameless plug, but we teach people exactly that, how to retire early. And the first, well, I've got golden rules in it, but one of our first and most powerful rules is to live below your means. Okay? Live below your means. Okay? Now unfortunately, there hasn't been a government that has ever lived below their means. Okay? They just don't. When you understand how it works, because you don't have consequences, you don't have responsibility, that's going to encourage you to live above your means. You'll see it, guys. Coming to the end of the year, there'll be tarmac on a road that doesn't need to be tarmacked. Why? Because if you don't spend all the money, you won't get it next year. Silly things like this. And this is just how the system works. It's no one person's fault. It's just the system. Okay? So, a government will always live above their means. They'll never allocate capital correctly. And therefore, they'll accumulate debt. Because when you live above your means, the only way to live above your means is to create debt. Okay? And most people in society now live above their means, and therefore they're in debt. So they have this debt burden around them, and they just think that's what you do. You go into debt, you get a mortgage, you pay it off the rest of your life, then you die, and you encourage your kids to do the same. That's how it works. That's how it's always worked. Okay, but there is a different way. We teach a different way. Okay, but a government by its nature will accumulate debt. Okay, now the only way to service the debt is to increase the taxes. Now generally that's not going to get you re-elected if you have a great idea and you want more tax, because the lad before you went and squandered money, and then you need even more money to get the same work done. Okay, but there's a second way that a government can collect money, okay, and that's to devalue their debt. And how do you do that is by debasing a currency. Okay, and that's why the purchasing power of the euro, since the euro came out, it's only gone down. And in the next 10 years, I can make a bet with anyone here who wants to make a bet with me that a euro is going to buy you less stuff in 10 years' time than it buys you today, if the euro still exists in 10 years' time. But it's guaranteed to buy you less stuff. Okay, just like 10 years ago, it was guaranteed to buy you more stuff. So this is how governments manage their debt. Okay, they debase the currency, they devalue the currency. It's the only way that they can service their debt. And basically what that's doing is, it's like a silent tax. People don't understand it's happening, they don't notice it's happening, they don't understand what currency debasement even is or means, and therefore they just slowly get their wealth bled away from them. Now, wealthy people understand this, so they don't fall for this trap. And that's why wealthy people, they don't really hold much cash. Instead, they convert their cash to assets. Okay, so when you're trying to figure out what you want to own, how you want to get wealthy, you want to own things that are really difficult for politicians to get at, basically. Okay, and this is why really wealthy people will have offshore entities, and things will be hidden behind trusts, and it'll all be wrapped up, or it'll be hidden behind a charity, and it'll all be wrapped up in this entity that's just really difficult for politicians to get their hands on. Okay, but normal people don't have access to this sort of sophisticated vehicles and products, and they can't afford to set them up. Okay, so what have normal people got? Well, previous to Bitcoin, they hadn't got much. You could buy a house, they'll tax the shit out of you if you buy an investment property. You can buy some stocks, you'll pay a lot of tax on them. You can buy some precious metals, they'll probably do nothing for your lifetime, so you probably won't have to pay much tax on them. Because gold keeps you rich, it doesn't make you rich. This is where a lot of people get gold wrong. For 5,000 years, gold has just kept rich people rich. So if you're not already rich, gold's probably not going to make you rich. It'll keep you rich. If you're already very rich and your family sits on a lot of wealth, gold will keep you rich. Bit of frostbite there, I see. It's chilly enough here, Ricky, alright, yeah. I'm just walking up to the gym. I just got me swimming down the beach. It was lovely. Gonna get a quick workout in. Okay. But 13 years ago was this invention, okay, and it was an apolitical money, which means it's not tied to politics. No politician can change it, no politician can stop it, no politician can influence it, no politician can confiscate it. Alright, that's power to the people, guys. That gives you a unique situation that you've never had before Bitcoin was invented. Everything had to be politicised. Everything was, unless you're already really wealthy, you didn't have a vehicle that was out of the hands of politicians. Now you do, okay? And this is why, if you don't understand that, and you don't understand the system, that politicians' only choice, regardless who you vote in, it makes no difference. It's all the same outcome, okay? Because there is no other possible outcome. The only choice is to devalue the currency. It's the only way that the system rolls forward, okay? Without the whole world falling apart. Once you understand that, you'll never save money again. You keep enough money to get by, you keep an emergency bucket, but you spend less than you earn, and you invest the difference. And that's how wealthy people get wealthy and stay wealthy. Guys, hope you enjoyed the tip. If you did, give it a like, give it a share, give it a comment. I'm going in to get a big pump on. Have a super day. I'll try not to get knocked over on the live. Vinny out.